Well, Crockett Bowie is a federal firearms licensee. We're authorized to sell firearms to pretty much anyone who legally can buy firearms. We're trying to set up a business with Crockett Bowie that focuses on helping law enforcement, military, government organizations, but we do sell to any private citizen. However, we focus mostly on quality firearms. So I'm not going to sell every firearm, every pistol, every rifle that's out on the street. There's some real junk out there today. We focus on high quality, really good products. And so we're a veteran-owned business, and we offer a discount to all veterans, all members of law enforcement. People often ask us, can I really buy a firearm over the internet? And actually, no, you don't buy firearms over the internet. It is possible to shop. It's possible to actually place an order for a firearm over the internet in some cases. But all firearms distributed in the United States are distributed through a federal firearms licensee. So for example, you're living in New Jersey, but you see a particular firearm, it might be a nice shotgun or a pistol, posted on my site that you'd like to buy. You can call me up, you can order that particular item. I may do some background screening of you first, but at that point in time, I can get that firearm shipped to another FFL, another federal firearms licensee in your location, and you'll have to go see that person face to face. They'll fingerprint you, they'll do a background check on you, and if you pass, if you qualify all the requirements legally, they'll sell you the firearm at that point in time. There's a lot of things to consider when you're buying a firearm. The purchase is actually, it should be somewhat emotional. It's not just about the price. You don't want to go to just any discount gun store and buy a firearm. Unless you know exactly what you're doing, you're an experienced firearms purchaser, that might be the right thing. But the process, I think, should be somewhat more methodical and maybe somewhat more guided. So what we try to do is we try to coach and advise people based on the use, how they anticipate using a firearm. If it's for home defense, for example, have you ever really shot a gun? Do you think that you could actually pick something up and use it in your own self-defense if you had to do that? And if you do, let's talk about how that house property is laid out, where you think you might be using it, and so forth, to help you determine the best gun that would fit your needs. There's also the feel, the grip, and the usability of the particular firearm to each person. So there's a lot of things to be considered. What we try to do is we try to coach and counsel and advise people on what the best possible fit is for them. Yeah, price comes into it. We try to look for the best price that we can find for anybody. So again, there's a lot of things to be considered. We try to help clients really understand step by step everything that they need to know in order to get something that's really going to meet their needs. So for a lot of people, buying a firearm isn't just seeing a picture of one in a catalog and calling up and ordering it, or going into a store, sporting goods store, and buying something off the shelf. It's a very popular trend in this country today. It's a global trend of customizing firearms to suit the needs of the individual. You see on the movies and TV, you see the SWAT teams and the tactical forces with lights and lasers and all kinds of attachments and special stocks for the guns. So that is, I think, something that's becoming somewhat of a hobby, collector's kind of a showcase in this country in particular. So I get quite a few questions about silencers. Some people call them suppressors. The correct legal term is a silencer. Silencers are actually legal, but there are a few steps that you have to go through in order to get one. And you actually have to get permission in the state of Oregon, let's say, from the local law enforcement agency that will approve you to have that. Most people buy these because they're collectors. They want to do a lot of target shooting, and they just don't want the noise that's involved in shooting a firearm. Right? So silencers serve a good purpose. It doesn't have to be associated with crime and gangster type shootings and things like that. Yes, you can get them. Yes, we can have them made for pretty much any firearm you can imagine. They're not terribly expensive. They get more expensive depending on the exotic nature of the firearm itself. I just did a podcast recently with one of the gunsmiths in Oregon, a guy named Ivan Loth, who's an expert. He deals in military and law enforcement practice of delivering firearms and customizing them. And he also talks at length about the process of getting a silencer for a weapon. So there's a couple ways of going about the purchase, the process of deciding if you even want a firearm. Lots and lots and lots of opportunities on the internet. You can find YouTube videos of pretty much any particular firearm you can imagine being shot, being talked about, being assembled, being repaired. So do some basic research first. Figure out what it is you want. You want a basic shotgun for hunting. What type of hunting do you think you'll do? You want a basic firearm. You want it as a concealed carry piece and so forth. Once you have that narrowed down, you think you know generally what you want, give us a call. Email us. Go to the Crockett and Bowie website and send me an email and let me know what it is you're looking to do. I can come back with some strong recommendations based on that. I'll probably have a lot more questions to ask you, and then based on that, narrow down the range for you of what some of the best options might be. So people want to know if they can come into the shop sometimes and just try a few pieces and see if they like them. And the short answer to that is no. The long answer to that is no. No, that's not going to happen. I typically will have some pistols, some revolvers perhaps, shotguns, rifles that you can hold, you can feel them, you can get a sense of them. One of the best things I recommend for people to do is go to a gun show. You'll see a huge variety. You can try them, you can hold them, you can get a sense of what they're like. As far as firing the weapons in advance, no. Now you can go to some of the gun ranges that are available where they rent guns by the hour, and you can try different calibers and different pieces that way and get a sense of what they're all about. That's the best advice I could give to somebody if they actually haven't shot a firearm and they're not familiar with what it's like.